Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some really interesting things to go over about Pokemon Legends ZA. We have a new rumored gameplay image which has just popped up on 4chan. We also have some other things to go over today for the upcoming Pokemon game. There's a lot of stuff to break down and get into. So if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, this is the apparent leaked gameplay image which has just popped up on 4chan in the early hours of the morning, and of course this is supposed to be what Pokemon Legends ZA is going to look like. So again, take it with a massive grain of salt. I have no idea if this is true or not. It probably isn't, but it's like the first kind of image that we've seen. It's not just like a normal 4chan post. They actually have evidence, I guess, of the game. Now, of course, this could easily have just been made in any of the multiple like 3D kind of software creation programs and stuff like that. That very well could be the case, but we do have like some things kind of scribbled out here in red, so I'm assuming that's just to try and make it look more legit, or maybe that's just like really sensitive information. But it says here like the Pokemon Company. We have some Japanese here, all rights reserved, copyright the Pokemon Company. So obviously they've got all those things in, you know, they would have on images and stuff like that. They have accompanied it with a little bit of text that we'll go over very soon as well. But yeah, this is just the image. So you have what seems to be a character here, which I'm assuming is the protagonist, the Generation 5 protagonist. I don't know why it would be the exact same Gen 5 protagonist though, just simply because it's in a different time period, so we're not going to be playing as the character that we played as in Pokemon Black and White or Pokemon Black and White 2, unless we are, you know, the same character and it's like a different timeline and we go back and forth between like the past and the future. Very unlikely. It's most likely going to be a situation where, just like in Legends Arceus, we didn't play as like Dawn or anyone like that. It was a completely different character. We do have down here some interesting symbols. So obviously we have the Pokeball icon here, which is right on the D-pad. Down on the D-pad, I'm assuming that's the Pokedex. Left on the D-pad is most likely items, and then up on the D-pad is of course this symbol which has popped up quite a few times in like the original trailer for this game. So whether this is true or not, I feel like that symbol is going to be very important. It very well could be for the evil team. It could be something to do with Mega Evolution, because we don't know if this game is going to have held items and abilities. And obviously, held items is how we Mega Evolve Pokemon. Obviously, it was different in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but usually they have to hold the Mega Stone. So maybe there's just like energy or something that allows Pokemon to Mega Evolve. Maybe you just find Mega Evolve Pokemon in the wild. Like, we don't know how it's going to work, and that could be like the Mega could be what the alpha Pokemon were like in Legends Arceus, where sometimes they pop up, like maybe sometimes you're just kind of running around and you get a Mega Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, this is clearly some sort of location. Like, we obviously have this symbol here as well, which again, it's like this quasar symbol or something like that. Again, it's probably going to be very important. We have the mini map over here, which looks really cool. In the bottom right, we do have our Pokemon. This is of course the same kind of layout as Pokemon Legends Arceus, where you just flick through with like L and R. They have a Lapras here. Now that Pokemon hasn't been confirmed to be in the game yet, but I think Lapras may as well be in the game anyway. It's a big fan favorite. And then yeah, we just have the character here just kind of chilling. So again, this is apparently a leaked image of Pokemon Legends ZA. It was accompanied by a little bit of text as well. And again, this posted on 4chan. I was actually yesterday in the late hours, but basically it said strict reserved Pokemon Legends ZA press from the Pokemon Company investor. So not all buildings will be accessible. So again, we didn't really have accessible buildings in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. However though, if the game was just set in a city, I feel like all the buildings would be accessible, because you're in a city. Imagine being in a city and not being able to go into any of the buildings. Like, that would be very weird. But it says not all buildings will be accessible. So maybe like people's random houses and stuff you won't be able to go into, which was always a bit weird in Pokemon, just breaking into someone's house and saying hello. Obviously the main buildings you'd be able to go into, but yeah, they're here saying not all buildings will be accessible. And it's not just the city, but there are other wild areas out there. No mention of new Pokemon. So again, this is where this like rumor also kind of falls flat. Like, we know it is just the city. Like, Nintendo have said this game resides in Lumiose City. So I don't know why they're here saying it's not just a city, we have wild areas. Unless we have like the city, and then like around the outskirts of the city there are kind of wild areas or where Pokemon spawn, but that is still seen as the city. That's the only way I could see that, and maybe that's what this person means by that. But they do say no mention of new Pokemon. Now, I believe that we're not going to really get any new Pokemon in this game. I think we're going to get a new legendary Pokemon. We're probably going to get a new Zygarde form, probably new forms of Xerneas and Yveltal. I feel like we'll get quite a handful of new Mega Evolutions, but actual brand new Pokemon, I can't really see us getting that many. I mean, in Legends Arceus, we didn't really get any. We just got like new forms and stuff. Obviously, we got new evolutions, like cross-gen evolutions and stuff, which may also be the case in this game. But yeah, in terms of like new stages of Pokemon, I just don't think it's going to happen, you know. I don't know, I just have a feeling we're not going to see that many. I think they're going to concentrate on forms in this game. And then it says still in initial phase of development, which again would be the case regardless, because, you know, it might not be coming out until late next year. We don't know. We just know it's coming out in 2025. So that's, again, the first image that's popped up about Pokemon Legends ZA. So let me know your thoughts on it. I mean, it's very, very likely fake. I'm not here saying that this could very well be true. It's probably not. We have had very early leaked images before, though, for previous games. Like, if you think back to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, we had that Lapras image. Everybody was like, that's definitely fake, that's definitely fake. Turned out to be true. And that was something that popped up on 4chan very, very early into the stages of that development. So it has happened in the past, which is why I'm going over it today, because it very well could be it. And I mean, if the game did look like this, I don't think it'd be that bad. Like, it does look kind of nice, you know, and I feel like obviously this is just an early test footage, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Anyway, moving on, we do have some theories and updates to go over about Pokemon Legends ZA as well. We have Kingsley here saying new Yveltal and Xerneas form, which again, I think is going to be the case. We did get Origin Palkia and Origin Dialga in Pokemon Legends Arceus, so I feel like it'd be the similar situation that the legendaries in Pokemon Legends ZA will also get, not necessarily Origin forms, but maybe Mega Evolutions. Like, we may even get a Mega Zygarde, and then also a Mega Xerneas and a Mega Yveltal. But I could be off my rocker with this thinking here, since the whole point of complete Zygarde is all the little cells coming together to make one giant being, which of course is 100% Zygarde. But what if Yveltal and Xerneas got new complete forms in Legends ZA? What sparked this idea was the fact we got Origin Giratina back in the day, then fast forward to Pokemon Legends Arceus, we get Origin forms of Dialga and Palkia. I don't know, maybe it's a silly idea, but got me thinking. So obviously in Generation 4, we have Giratina here, and then we got the Origin form of Giratina, and then in Pokemon Legends Arceus, we got two new Origin forms. So we got Origin Palkia and Origin Dialga. So that could be the same thing that happens here. So we got a complete form of Zygarde, I mean, this wasn't in, obviously, Pokemon X and Y, it was in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but you know what I mean, like, we got a complete form of it. So maybe in the Legends game, we could get a complete form of Yveltal and a complete form of Xerneas. It does make sense when you put it like that, like, this is exactly the same thing, like, this Origin form, these got Origin forms, these got a complete form, these could get a complete forms, or a Mega Evolution, or something like that. But I think it's been very heavily implied already that these two are going to be getting Mega Evolutions just from, like, the logo and stuff. Or not Mega Evolutions, but something, like maybe a new form or something like that. But either way, massive shout out to Kingsley there for making that kind of connection, and it does make a lot of sense. Moving on, we also have this post here from Soul Silver Art, a potential hint that we could have seen in Generation 9 and the Generation 5 games, and obviously Generation 6. So here we have these bookcases and bookshelves filled with purple and red books. They very well could be the Scarlet and the Violet books. Remember, we all thought we were going to be going back to Kalos, because obviously France bordering Portugal and then the peninsula and stuff like that. So we thought we were going to go to Kalos, and, you know, maybe these could very well be Scarlet and Violet books. If you know, maybe this is like a set, like maybe X and Y is set further in time or something than Scarlet and Violet, so these books become the norm, and yeah, this could just be full of them. And then we also got two big books of the same coloring as well in Pokemon Generation 5 game as well. So yeah, again, could just be little hints, you never know, but it's just interesting that there's been a lot of Gen 5 talk and the books appeared there. There's been a lot, obviously, Gen 6 talk because we're getting Legends ZA, the books appear there, and obviously it's the Scarlet and Violet book, so you never know, you really never know. Moving on, we have some Nintendo Switch 2 rumors to go over before we go over another rumor for Pokemon Legends ZA, but this was posted on WWG. So Nintendo Switch 2 rumor leaks two huge RPGs coming to the new console. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but some more Switch 2 news to kind of go over. So Nintendo Switch 2 rumor leaks 2 huge RPGs coming to the new console. The Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have plenty for RPG fans to play next year. Now, of course, it's been heavily implied that the Switch 2 is going to get delayed until 2025, and that is because apparently they want more games available when this console launches, and so 2 big RPGs would be 2 more games to kind of drop when it launches. Anyway, a Nintendo Switch 2 rumor alleges that 2 big RPGs, one that is already out and another is set to release later this year, are both coming to the next Nintendo console, presumably at or near the launch of the console, which is rumored to happen sometime next year. We are 3 months into 2024, and there is no word from Nintendo about the rumored Nintendo Switch 2. The tentative name assigned to the next Nintendo console expected to be a successor to the Switch. As a result, there is also no word what games Nintendo fans can expect, at least not officially. There are plenty of rumors about Nintendo Switch 2 games. The latest claims 2 RPGs of importance are Switch 2 bound. The first of these 2 RPGs are Metaphor, ReFantazio, and an RPG announced from Persona studio Atlas back in 2016, though it wasn't fully revealed until June of last year. It is currently scheduled to release this fall via PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. There has been no word of a Nintendo Switch version, and it may be because it will actually be a Switch 2 game. So from the creative minds, Persona 3, yada yada yada, that's just kind of like the backstory of the game. So the second supposed Nintendo Switch 2 bound RPG is one that released last month, but also via Atlas. That RPG is Persona 3 Reloaded, and I feel like there's been other rumors about this as well, but there's just like been more now rumors about it actually happening, so it's very, very likely this is going to be a thing. A remake of Persona 3. This game is also oddly missing on the Nintendo Switch, which is perhaps because it is being saved for the Switch 2. And then obviously that's just a backstory of that. And then what is the source of all this information? Well, it comes from a well-known insider / leaker within the Persona community that goes by MBKKSSTBHZ5. This is like an actual leaker with a really good track record as well. It's not like Zippo, who gets a lot of things right, a lot of things wrong. Like, this person gets a lot of stuff right to do with Persona, so when they say something about Persona, it's usually true. On social media platform X, despite this, all of this should still be taken with a grain of salt like any other rumor. So yeah, might just be 2 of the other games coming to the Switch 2 alongside with maybe Pokemon Legends ZA, this apparent open world Mario game we're going to be getting, all of these different things that are apparently going to be happening on the Switch 2. So that's all the Switch 2 stuff. Finishing things off for today's video, though, we have another rumor to go over about Pokemon Legends ZA. So this was posted also yesterday. Again, there's been a lot of 4chan stuff, which is interesting because there was no 4chan stuff before Pokemon Legends ZA got announced about Pokemon Legends ZA, but just interesting that all these leakers are coming out now. But as always, take it with a massive grain of salt. You never know if it's true or not. But anyway, it's titled Pokemon ZA Zodiac. So until now, I have never been interested in leaking information on Pokemon games because of people who are more famous and certainly more reliable than any stranger on 4chan. But taking advantage of the fact that Q's credibility has gone down the toilet, I would like to share with very little information that I have regarding ZA. I mean, just a quick note about the whole Riddler Q situation, like, apparently he did leak the code name of Pokemon Legends ZA before the presents, so that kind of helps his credibility a little bit. And again, I'm not defending him here, but I'm saying if a Generation 5 game gets announced this year, which it very well could, or a Generation 2 game or something like that, then I feel like his credibility goes up a bit because he did kind of, I guess, push towards that idea. So again, right now his credibility is not great, but if we do get another game announced this year that's coming out this year, then fair play, it kind of goes up again, because he kind of did allude to that. But anyway, I tend to point out that I'm using a translator due to my linguistic deficiency in English. I apologize in advance. Let's get started. So the game seems to be set in the past, but not during or after the war ended by AZ, but rather about 4 to 5 centuries before the events of X and Y, which again, I mean, I could see. I don't think it's going to be set that far in the past. I think it's going to be set like maybe 100 years, but I think you're also going to be able to time travel as well. That's just my personal opinion about how the game's going to work. The city will be more developed than the village of Arceus, and again, that's also very likely. I mean, from the images we've seen of the trailer, there's people with handbags and stuff like that, so yeah, you ain't going to be wearing handbags like 500 or so years ago. And we will play as a novice trainer tasked with researching the location near the city area in order to study the past of the region and the events of the war. Then goes on to say, the game will be open map like Arceus, but Lumiose City will be the main protagonist of the game, where But Lumiose City will be the main protagonist? What? That makes no sense. Of the game where, I don't know what they mean by that. I'm assuming that they mean like Lumiose City will be the main like hub or something like that. Of the game where most of the main quests will take place. I mean, we already know that Lumiose City is where the game takes place and where the game resides and stuff like that. We will see the development of the city, but what is shown in the teaser is only a future project that is only mentioned. I mean, it does look like blueprints and stuff anyway, so I could definitely see that. The city will develop during the game's progress, but it will never become as you imagine it or as implied in the teaser. That would be really cool though, as you like get further and further through the game, like the city changes like as the storyline develops. I think that would be a really, really cool thing. And I could see that happening as well, because the whole point of it is, you know, you're developing the city, or you're helping develop the city, I'm assuming, to make it, you know, I guess to allow Pokemon and people to live in harmony. The game is still in an embryonic phase, very similar on the Sword and Shield leaks released years ago, so it is difficult to express an opinion on graphics, gameplay, or new functions because they are currently using the Arceus models and the same animations and functions to test. Which, again, I hope it looks like Legends Arceus, I hope it's similar. I don't want them to completely change the Legends formula, because Legends Arceus did it really, really well. I want there to be a Pokemon attacking the character, I want there to be a shiny noise, I want there to be Shiny's Overworld, I want there to be mass release, I want there to be quests, I want there to be all these different things that Legends Arceus had in Pokemon Legends EA. I don't want them to completely change the formula, because Legends Arceus was a really, really good game and it was received really, really well. So I don't know how to give information on the gameplay news, but I can give you one thing for sure. Between the end of May and the beginning of June, there will be a trailer for a couple of Pokemon games for the end of this year, not developed by Game Freak, but I can't tell you if they are Black and White or Gold and Silver. I don't want to go too far with false statements, hopes, and with uncertain information. So again, obviously that's kind of piggybacking what Pyoro said. He did say that he did hear about an outsourced game coming out this year. Obviously that wasn't revealed in the Pokemon Day Presents, but it could still happen. I think like in the last 28 years, we've only had 2 years within that where we haven't had any kind of Pokemon game, so no main series or no spin-off. And we've also had spin-offs announced and remakes announced after Pokemon Day in the past, so just because we didn't get anything announced in February doesn't mean we're not getting anything this year. The only time a remake has been announced on Pokemon Day is BDSP, so I think we're so fixated on that that we think that there can't possibly be anything else, but you know, there very well could be other things announced as well, so we'll have to wait and see. I'll make a video going over like why there very likely is going to be another game very, very soon, but either way, that finishes off today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on this potential leaked image. Do you think it is true or not? What are your thoughts on this rumor as well that we just went over? I don't really think it's true, but I like the idea of the city being developed as you play through the game and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts on the complete forms of Xerneas and Yveltal, your thoughts on these potential hints in previous games, and then all the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff as well. But yeah, that's everything from me. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.